Hello, YouTube. What's going on? Thank you all for tuning in to Inside the Music Industry. I'm your host, James the Rat, and we're here kicking off another great episode. Just want to thank everyone that's been tuning in. If you like what you see and you see what you like, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. Let us know what you think about the video. Tell us what you like, what you feel, and anything like that. So, anyway, we're going to kick off another great, wonderful episode. And this week, episode three. Episode three, ladies and gentlemen, we're 3 episodes in. Thank God for that. We're going to talk about signing a deal. Signing a major deal. Man, whether you're an independent artist or whether you're a major artist itself, one thing you always looking to do is sign a major deal. You always want to capitalize off your deal. You want to make sure that you retain every single thing possible that you could retain. Man, whether it be your rights, your publishing, your royalties, whatever it is, whether it's your masters, your master recorders, that's major and that's important. And those are the key things in which you want to hold on to when you sign a deal. So those are things that you want to look out for. What it is that you look out for, you want to look out for hidden things and hidden clues. So like say percentage wise of your royalties. So everyone knows what a royalty is. Royalty is what you get paid off of, whether it's your song or performances, basically most likely of the product itself and what you put out. So if you have a song out and you get royalties off of them off the sales. So royalties of what you get is based upon your record sales. And sometimes within the contract and the clause, depending upon how it is with the deal itself, it consists of radio play. So depending upon if you like say for instance if you have BMI ASCAP, pretty much within a clause itself, they kind of pay you for airplay. So when you have that's another key thing, and that's important as well. When you're dealing in the music industry and when you're signing these deals, you want to see does it include the BMI? Do you see want to include the ASCAP? Within itself, some artists like to have both the BMI and the ASCAP. You know, a lot of times you understand that the BMI and the ASCAP offer two different things. So you always want to do your research and your homework and seeing what the BMI and the ASCAP have to offer. So now, we're going to continue forward. Anyway, when you're signing a major deal, like I mentioned, you want to see that everything that the most important part of it of all, you want to maintain and retain as much as everything that you have as possible. So whether it is basically within itself, so whether you're maintaining your publishing rights, whether it is that you're looking to retain any source of information. So, like, say, for instance, if you're looking to retain your masters and you want to hold on to majority of your master recordings as possible. So 100% of your publishing, your royalties, you want to maintain every bit of your rights as possible because once you sign it over, a lot of people don't realize is that they can offer you a whole lot. And one thing I learned, even when you're signing a distribution deal, a lot of times you're gonna have to pay for the distribution itself. So if you're signing a major deal and you're signing with a major label, they're gonna want a lot out of it. So certain labels within itself, and a lot of key things that you got to look out for is that a lot of these independent labels are backed by a major label. So what they'll do is this: they'll present themselves as a major record label, so they could be an independent label just like you, or be on an independent platform, but they could be backed by a major label. So XYZ record label records is back in ABC Records. So when ABC Records is being backed by XYZ puts up majority of the funds and everything else like that. So what it is within the distribution deals, what you're looking for is, of course, distribution. You want to see can they actually get your product, get your song into multiple stores out for sale. So now, when that happens, you want to make sure that you retain as much as your royalties as possible. So whether the split is say 70-30 and it's off the net and not the gross. So as you know, the net is basically breaking down after everything at the end of the day. So that includes your studio time, your promotion, the cost of promotion, your artwork, everything else in which they have to put up. They will take that percentage out from off the gross. So whatever it is after they do all that at the end of the day, after everything is all said and done, what you're gonna have, what they'll give you is 70% of what's left over. So, like, say for instance, 70% of $100 is what, $70. So at the end of the day, so let's say your net is $100, what you're supposed to be getting in return. At the end of the day, what you will have is $70. So on and so forth. So what you want to make sure is that you get as majority of it as possible. So you want to make sure that it includes every single thing. So promotional items, so like say T-shirts, hats, cell phone cases, watches, jewelry, whatever the case may be, whatever it is, sneakers, jeans, clothing, whatever it is that your name is trademarked off of. And that's another thing. You want to make sure that you maintain the rights to your trademark, your copyrights. So you want to make sure that you own all those. So what's key thing is before you even sign the deal, sign your name on the dotted line, that you want to make sure that you have all those already. So you want to make sure that you have your trademark, whatever it is, your logos, whatever it is that you own. You want to own every single thing as possible. Own the rights to your name. So now when you sign over the rights to your name, this means that you're giving a record label control to use your name any given time during the length of the contract. So what you want to make sure is that at the end of the contract, that all your rights are signed back over to you, or you retain all of your rights. Because what a lot of these labels will do is they will take your name, or they will own, or pretty much once you sign your name on that, they will own your name. And that's it. They will own everything about you. So you have to start back from scratch. You have to go through the whole rebranding process and everything else. So when you go through the rebranding process, you have to change your name. So a lot of times, like say for instance, Diddy. When Diddy came in the game, he started off as Puff Daddy. So a lot of people was like, okay, then he changed his name to Puffy. Then it's like, okay, from Puffy, they went to P. Diddy. Then after P. Diddy, then he dropped it, he just called himself Diddy. So a lot of people don't understand is that on the back end of it, he was going through so many different deals with Bad Boy that he had to rebrand himself each and every time because they own the rights to his name. So each thing that he came out of, and every time he came out with something different after a certain period of time frame, he always changed his name. He went through the whole rebranding process. And that's basically what it is. So when a label owns the rights, a company owns the rights to your name, that's generally what you have to do. You have to come out with a way to rebrand your name, to change your name up, and come out under a different name. And that's pretty much when you do that, it's without being sued by the label itself. And that's another thing in which you do not want to do. You do not want to be sued by the record label. Because if you're sued by the record label, there's no telling for what it is that they will give you, and what it is that you're going to look upon an outcome. It could weigh in your favor, it cannot weigh in your favor. A judge can either throw the case out, or well, he can rule in your favor. He can say that, okay, hey, you know, Jim Brown gets to maintain his rights. Jim Brown gets to own everything at the end of the day. And on the flip side of it, the record label will have to pay Jim Brown back all the money. And that'll include lawyer fees, court fees, all these other fees within itself. So like I mentioned, you want to skip past, and a lot of people say, well, okay, a lot of these cost money. How would I be able to get this? Would I be able to do so? What you'll be able to do is this. You'll be able to pretty much, like I mentioned, there's many different sites and many different things in which you'll be able to, like you have LegalZoom and all these other places. So if you have, say, a prepaid lawyer, it's always good to get a prepaid entertainment lawyer. You can't get a criminal lawyer trying to do an entertainment type of case, because a criminal lawyer will not know the terms in which it's used. A lot of people use a lot of key terms. A lot of these record labels use a lot of terms in which will throw the artist off. So if you not know upon these industry terms and a lot of wording, like we mentioned, publishing and your royalties. So if you don't know the aspect of it, or what's behind the publishing, what's behind the royalties, what these words means, what is this, what is that, this is where entertainment lawyer comes in at. And entertainment lawyer can go in there and he can seal the deal just like that. So you want to make sure you can't get now. You want to make sure you don't want to get any old lawyer. Good lawyers are prepaid lawyers. The reason being because they paid their money up front. Once they pay their money up front, they know they have no other choice but to provide the services on which you paid for. And which is going to be another video. We're going to talk about budgeting soon. So to wrap everything up, You want to keep in mind when you sign a major deal, you have to go in with the mindset of knowing everything that you want out of the deal and out of the company itself. Because if you don't know what you want, then you're not going to know what it is that you're getting. See, once you know what you want and what you're expecting out the label within itself, then you know what you're getting. Then you know whether or not the deal that you have is a good deal or a bad deal. And that's all everything all in retrospect. Because you'll never know the aspect of a deal, like I mentioned, if it's good or bad, if you don't know within yourself what it is that you're going in there for. So you always want to keep in mind and make sure that you know exactly what it is that you're going for. And always make sure that you read over the contract at least 5 times before signing the line. You want to go over it 5 times before signing the line. The reason why you say, okay, Jay, why do I have to sign it 5 times before I go over the line? I got the deal. This is the deal I wanted. I'm going to sign the line. This is the company I want to sign with. You want to make sure that everything is as close as possible to the terms on which you're looking for. And you want to read it over and over again because guess what? If you might be caught up in excitement in the moment that you might miss something out in the beginning. So then, if you don't take the time out and you read it and you miss something out, guess what? You sign the line, you sign it, you sign your name on the line, you sign a deal, and they say, guess what? The deal is over with, and you try to walk away. You come up with something else, under the same name, and you don't sign all your rights over to the company itself. And then here it is, the company will tell you, well, you have no right to use this name. You have no right to re-put out this song. So the reason being, you didn't sign over your rights to us. So now the company can sue you for that. And guess what? You're back at square one. So to avoid all that and avoid all the hassle, time and money within itself, you always want to keep in mind you got to spend money to make money. So if you don't spend the money, you're not going to make the money which is needed. So always make sure that you want to spend it wisely and spend it in the most reasonable place. So keep in mind, when you sign a major deal, make sure you know exactly for what it is that you want. Because if you don't know what you want, you will not know what you're getting. So that's all the time I have, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to tune in each and every Thursday at 7 a.m. right here on our YouTube channel, Inside the Music Industry. You can catch the previous episodes on the Silver Nation channel within itself as well. So like I mentioned, please sure to like, subscribe, share, comment below. Let us know what you think of the video. Let us know also what you'd like to see. What is that we can